This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The ankle bracelet firm told to get its act together. The National Security Minister says there'll be consequences and will flow without improvements. Whereas a former PM is saying that Monroe himself should resign. And in our discussion today, we are talking about the Performing Arts School. What will this mean for the Bahamas and how will it all work? We'll get the details this morning. This is all straight ahead here on Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, February 2nd, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we promised you yesterday, but we're going to do it today. We're going to talk about the ITU Youth Strategy, Generation Connect Youth Envoys. We'll be talking with Urka about that this morning. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the firm monitoring individuals out on bail through its ankle bracelet program has been told to get its act together, failing which consequences would flow. That's according to National Security Minister Wayne Monroe. That warning coming amid reports that some people on bail have taken off their ankle bracelets and moved about freely, even traveling. It's alleged that many have committed crimes while on bail. Monroe saying yesterday that, quote, every single monitoring company who's ever had a contract has had issues. That's what the record in the ministry shows because men are ingenious. What happened in all of the situations with the other two previous companies is that they were given the same opportunity that this company has been extended by the police to correct their issues. Now, Monroe says the police have told the company, Metro Security Solutions, what they have to do and that they'll have to address it. He says they'll have to address it in short order or there will be consequences. Earlier in the week, during a meeting with police officials at headquarters, Prime Minister Philip Davis said the government must review the arrangement it has with the company responsible for providing the electronic ankle monitors to suspects released on bail. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says that Wayne Monroe, National Security Minister, has failed dramatically and should resign. He was speaking in Parliament this week, said that, quote, if he does not resign, he should be relieved of his portfolio. It is time for the Prime Minister to appoint to that post someone who can lead an aggressive anti-crime agenda. This Bail Act amendment will not do much. It is conflicting with the existing act. Putting in place a more capable Minister of National Security would help. Well, there have been 20 murders so far for the year, a bloody start to the new year, 20 in January alone. The bail amendment bill was tabled last week as part of the government's plan to deal with the rising number of murders. Prime Minister Philip Davis says the country is in a crisis. Last month, Davis gave a national address on crime and announced measures he said will bring some relief. The measures include a program called Clear, Hold, and Build, an initiative to rid communities of criminal gangs, maintain a police presence in those areas, and launch programs to help residents start businesses and other projects. A man accused of raping a young woman granted bail. Prosecutors allege that Bertram Fraser, a married father of 3, raped a 19-year-old woman on January 21st. Prosecutor Kenny Thompson didn't object to Fraser's release, as he has no previous convictions or pending matters. Justice Gregory Hilton set bail at $9,500. Fraser is to have no contact with witnesses and has to sign in at the Carmichael Road Police Station. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting says 8 homes have already been demolished in Abaco shanty towns, and others are scheduled for demolition in the coming weeks. Sweeting says individuals who occupy all homes in 3 major shanty towns have been given notice. Sweeting says 90% of the homes in those shanty towns also did not have any type of running water. Overseas, a vehicle loaded with gas exploded and set off an inferno that burned homes and warehouses in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, killing at least 3 people and injuring more than 270. The death toll is expected to rise. Many residents were likely inside their homes when the fire reached their houses in the Maradi area of the Nairobi neighborhood of Embakasi. The truck explosion ignited a huge fireball, and a flying gas cylinder set off a fire that burned down a garment and textile warehouse. Several other vehicles and businesses were damaged by the inferno. It started around 11:30 p.m. Thursday. At the scene after daybreak, several houses and shops were burned out. The shell of a vehicle believed to have started the explosion was lying on its side, and the roof of a 4-story residential building about 200 meters from the scene of the explosion was broken by a flying gas cylinder. And North Korea today, extending a provocative series of weapons tests by firing cruise missiles into the sea, as leader Kim Jong-un called for his military to step up war preparations and toured a shipyard. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the U.S. and South Korean militaries were analyzing the North Korean launches into its western sea. It said South Korea's military detected multiple missiles, but it did not immediately provide a specific number or an assessment of their flights. The launches, which were North Korea's 4th round of cruise missile tests in 2024, coming hours after state media reported that Kim reiterated his focus on strengthening his naval forces as he inspected unspecified naval projects in a shipyard on the West Coast. And more than 2,300 people were killed, injured, or kidnapped in Haiti from October to December last year, a nearly 10% increase compared with the previous quarter. That's according to a new UN report released Thursday. The number of killings alone spiked to more than 1,600 during the period, with officials blaming the vacuum created by the death of a powerful gang leader known as Andres Isca for unleashing territorial fights in a slum of Port-au-Prince. It killed and nearly injured 270 people over roughly 2 weeks in late November. Isca has also been identified as Iskar Andres and Iskar Andres. Authorities said fights occurred within a powerful gang federation known as G9 Family and Allies. which also targeted an opposition gang called GPEP. Officials say at least 262 gang members died in the last quarter, but noted the losses were barely felt given the ease of recruitment among the poor populations living under their control, enabling them to rapidly replenish their ranks. The report also found that nearly 700 people were kidnapped from October to December, an increase of nearly 20% compared with the previous quarter. In sports, the Bahamas Basketball Federation shortlisting 18 players for the senior men's national basketball team that will represent the country at the FIBA, the International Basketball Federation AmeriCup 2025 qualifiers that gets underway later this month. The preliminary roster released yesterday. The Bahamas will get its campaign underway on Thursday, February 22nd, with an away matchup against a familiar foe, Puerto Rico. Named to the 18-man shortlist, Kentuan Smith, Rashad Davis, Tavario Miller Sr., Travis Munnings, Dominic Bridgewater, David Nesbitt, Jerron Burrows, Godfrey Roll III, Durant Knowles, Aaron Lavarity, Kai Jones, Emmanuel Newsome, Aaron Gordon, Kemsey Sylvester, Jonathan McFall, Dylan Musgrove, Jane Roney Cadot, and Quema Gibson. The squad will be trimmed to 12 players by February 20th. Read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. And there are fewer than 100 days to go before the highly anticipated World Athletics 2024 World Relays and the local organizing committee welcoming a technical team from World Athletics to the Bahamas this week. The event is set for May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Chief Operations Officer of the LOC, Jermico Archer, giving an update at the Office of the Prime Minister Thursday, stating how the interaction with the visiting team has been coming along. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales, home of the electric vehicle, inviting you to fall in love with an EV during the month of February. So we've got high pressure that continues to produce gentle winds across the country. Meanwhile, northerly swells will continue to promote hazardous beaching and boating conditions across the area. We've got a number of special warnings. Hazardous boating and beaching conditions expected to continue, and boaters should not venture far from port due to rough seas and ocean swells. Beachgoers should also stay out of the water due to rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Everybody's advised to exercise caution while traveling along northern coastal roads due to possible sea spray. For today, your forecast calling for a mix of sun and clouds with a slight chance of a stray shower, becoming mostly fair and cool tonight. Smallcraft advisory in effect for the entire Bahamas due to the presence of moderate northerly swells. Winds north-northwest to north-northeast at 10 knots or less. Seas in the northwest and central Bahamas 1 to 3 feet near shore, but up to 7 feet along Atlantic exposures. And for the southeast Bahamas, 4 to 7 feet near shore, but up to 9 feet offshore along Atlantic exposures. Temperature-wise, right now in Nassau, it's about 65 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We're looking at highs getting up to around 76 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. What does the weekend have in store? The first weekend in February, we'll tell you in your extended outlook coming up after traffic in a bit. This first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Say bye-bye to your old gas car and expensive service. You deserve a better relationship. Visit easy242.com and find a new electric vehicle to love. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Champ, baby girl, cable guy is here.
Since the very beginning, you have been with us.
This is Paul Wade, and this is called the internet.
Okay.
All right, so you can
For
type
over 2 decades, we've been with you every step of the way.
Weibo is total class. Look at her go. She's in front.
I follow me. I'm resident.
So yeah, times may have changed, and so have your needs as our valued customers. But some connections stand the test of time. Rev, we're with you.
Life is unpredictable, so when the unexpected pops up and you need cash fast, you can handle it in easy-to-manage bite-sized payments with a cash advance from Scotia Select Pay. With Scotia Select Pay, you can take a lower-interest cash advance on your Scotia credit card in 3, 6, 9, or 12 monthly bite-sized payments. When the unforeseen strikes, trust a cash advance from Scotia Select Pay, the new, easy, and useful way to get cash now and pay later in convenient bite-sized payments that won't break your budget. Try it now on the Scotia mobile app or via Scotia online.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
To all homeowners, this is your reminder that Scotiabank encourages all taxpayers to sell outstanding real property taxes before March 31st, 2024. We want to ensure that you're up to date on all tax obligations. Failure to comply may affect your monthly mortgage payments and the total balance owing under your mortgage. We invite you to contact the RPT office of the Department of Inland Revenue or your nearest branch or bank officer if you require additional information or assistance. Stay on top of your taxes with Scotiabank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Stephen Hanna. Stephen Hanna, good morning, sir. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Morning.
Hope you're doing well.
Trying to.
That's excellent. Coming up this morning, we're going to find out more about the Performing Arts School. What exactly is it going to be? How's it going to work? And how this is going to benefit the country. You can think of already some wonderful ways it's going to be spectacular. But we'll get some details this morning. And then later in business, we are talking about the International Telecommunications Union and their Generation Connect Youth Envoys. They're hoping for folks to nominate young nationals to become Generation Connect Youth Envoys. We'll tell you what you need to do before the deadlines this morning. That's all ahead, but first it's time for what's in the news. And in the news, just going to put this out there every day. We're going to remind everybody that the countdown is on to 242 Day 24. That is going to be a Saturday this year, so we want everyone to celebrate for 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Friday when you're at work, and Saturday have a big thing. Do something extremely uniquely Bahamian, wholesomely Bahamian, and
like you
have to, because some things are becoming quite Bahamian, and I don't know if they're good.
Also, anyway, I was gonna say
we're keeping it positive.
You're not allowed to murder.
That's what I was saying. You didn't have to say it.
No, you have to say it.
Because I just said something positive.
No, Dwight.
Wholesome doesn't mean not killing people.
Dwight, the last time when we had a long holiday and there wasn't a murder, it was because I called for it. Right?
You were incorrect. Somebody did get hurt.
No. Somebody was killed, but they weren't murdered.
You sure?
Yeah, because the police shot them. Doesn't count. But the whole point is, Dwight.
You think you did that?
It's not I.
Can you say?
We did it.
Who's we?
We, the Bahamian people together as a
let's
collective.
Make an appeal for them not to kill anymore for the rest of the year.
No. See,
doesn't it work like that?
Baby steps, right? So if we get together and we say, hey, on that day, this is not a thing that you do, right? Then everybody starts putting that inside their head, and then you say, because some people don't know what positive. Some people go to a party, and the party just seems like a fun time, and then they start shooting because nobody told them. And they'll say, oh, nobody told me I can't kill nobody. So you have to say
These are the type of parties you go to?
I don't go to any type of parties.
Oh, okay.
Because every party has the type of people in it.
What?
Political parties, birthday parties. All parties have idiots in them, right? So it's important.
Why are we trying to keep...
It's important. This is positive. You must spell it out, Dwight. You get upset a lot of times because you're like, everybody should know this. It's common sense. Yes.
Oh.
All right? But the problem is, people think that common sense means that you were born with it. No, it's not called natural sense. It's not called born sense. It's called common sense. It's common because it's shared among the populace. It is common like the Commonwealth, right? If you do not share it, then it won't be shared, right? And so
clearly people are selfish and greedy and keeping it all to themselves.
Some people are keeping all the sense, but that would be you, Dwight. You are the person who's being selfish and greedy and keeping all the sense
Every
to
day
yourself.
I talk about things.
No. You get upset because because their parents didn't teach them the same thing your parents taught them. Dwight, this is not even a matter of question. This is a matter of empirical, statistical proof. Your parents were smarter than a lot of people's parents because your parents were teachers, right? They had to be smarter than other people's parents because they were teaching other people's parents. Don't assume that everybody's parents taught them the same thing. And this goes to all our listeners, right? Your parents taught you how to cook peas and rice. Don't assume everybody knows how to cook peas and rice. Your parents taught you how to cross the road properly, how to talk to people, how to say good morning. Don't assume everybody had parents that taught them that even know that.
Yeah.
You have to say what it is that you want implicitly. Then you can get upset because you said it. So now let us say it together. On February 24th,
February 24th,
February 23rd, and 24th,
yes,
you are not allowed to murder.
Don't kill anybody.
No one can murder anybody
or anything. Don't hurt a pot cake either. No.
You got to kill some chicken to fry on
you don't have
chicken
to
and
do
fish.
It. You could buy it already Slaughtered.
No, Dwight. Let's just keep
You
it to
want people
humans.
to go in
Let's
the yard
just
and
keep it-
slaughter a chicken?
Let us keep it to humans. We are baby steps.
Okay, all right.
On the 23rd and 24th of
And
February, and pot cakes.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to kill any human beings or dogs on the 23rd and the 24th of February this year. Watch the numbers fall. That is all.
Okay. And we want you to find wonderful, wholesome things.
To
do,
express it.
On the 23rd and 24th. Of course, on the Friday, everybody come to work in your Bahamian colors and have those flags up on the 24th. Have some wholesome gun-free parties and hide the knives too, apparently. And more, right? That's a great weekend. Hopefully the weather will cooperate as well. But we'll remind you every day, and we see the government is on board as well. They're reminding folks about it. So this is going to be fantastic.
Countdown is on.
Yep, that's right. So here we go again, 242 day. Just got to work on some other things for folks. So some driving instructions. We're going to have a special day for people to learn to drive properly. We'll work on that for this year. And
If that is how you want to spend it. If that's how you want to spend it, sure.
Okay. So that is ahead. But right now in the news, the big headline in the National Guardian, ankle bracelet firm told to get its act together. Wayne Monroe, the National Security Minister, saying that, he's admitting that the two previous companies also had issues, and the police told them what they needed to do to get their act together. And so they're going to afford the same to Metro Security Solutions. That's the current company with the contract. And this is in light of a number of people, but this has always been a problem, right? People taking off their bracelets and moving around and traveling and allegedly committing all manner of horrible crimes. So yes, the company is being told to get it together. Okay. Let's get your reaction to that. I know, Stephen, you've been teasing me for 2 days. Tell me you have a solution to the ankle bracelet monitor.
I do have a solution, though. But I know that persons aren't going to like it, which means that it's probably the right thing to do.
Oh, boy. Okay, let's hear this.
Oh, I thought you were going to attacks.
No. I want to hear you, and then we'll get reaction to that, I'm sure.
Okay. So
I'll drink some tea while you talk.
Oh no! Don't spit it out. So this is what the idea.
Are you reading from a document?
No.
You wrote down your ideas?
No.
What are you looking at?
We're gonna implant
oh boy.
subcutaneously.
I thought you were being serious.
I'm being very serious.
Oh dear.
So here's the offer, right? You go to you're before the judge for a very serious crime, all right? Your lawyer says, hey, his case ain't coming up till next year, and he have family to feed and this and that or whatever. Could he get bail? The judge says, sure, but you have to be monitored. And say, okay, now we know the issue, right? Like Wayne Monroe says, it is very difficult because everybody's so intelligent, things keep on happening. We're going to chip anybody who is on bail for serious crimes. Now, here's the thing. They don't have to be chipped. They can stay in jail. And those are your options, right? Now, it's left or right.
That can't work.
Why can't it work?
The lawyers will say, no, that's not.
No, why can't it work, Dwight?
Yeah, there can't be that or that. You have to chip or something else.
No, chip or stay in jail. Yeah, those are the options.
No.
This is the only, no, because here's the thing. We know that the ankle monitor, there is no way around it where it's like the technology.
So you don't believe some of these guys would carve that out of their skin?
And if they do, here's the thing. Because if you put that along with the fact that you have to check into the police station, because the thing is these guys are taking it off, leaving it home, and then checking in the police station with it on. If you have to check into the police station and they say, hey, we noticed the back of your neck bleeding. When we going to scan you, the chip, a little to the left of where it's supposed to be. Somebody's been tampering with your chip. You have to go to jail.
I sleep funny.
You sleep funny with a knife in the back of your neck?
What?
Well, then we need to put you in jail.
My pillow's hot. I don't use fabric softener.
We need to put you in jail for your safety from your own laundromat or whatever. But the whole point is the way you give them an option. And here's the thing. If when you go to the court, when we get the court and everything and you're found innocent, remove it. When you go to jail, we remove it. It is removable. It's not going to be so deep that it can't be removed, but at the same time, we will see if it's tampered with because you're going to have a giant scar.
Why
on the
did you
back of
think
your
this
neck.
was better than the ankle bracelet?
It is better because the problem with the ankle bracelet is they can take it off. They can figure ways around it. Here you have something that is GPS track, real time. It's cheaper than an ankle bracelet. It's easier to monitor. There's a myriad of reasons why this is a superior technology. And the only thing
apparently we have hundreds of people out on bail. And so I don't know, this is going to be very costly, I'm sure, to have this chip and to implant
it's not.
people.
It's like $50 each. Let's find out how much it is. How much it is?
You do that while we take some calls, and you can respond to Steven's
$25 to $60
in the U.S.
No, anywhere in the world.
Yep, when you VAT and duty, what's that going to be here?
No, the government is bringing them in.
Oh, okay. Sure. 323-6232.
VAT on $25? So that doesn't even bring it up to $30.
The duty. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Okay.
I'm sorry. The cost of everything, including inserting it, is $25 to $60.
Not here.
Dwight?
We won't be here.
It'll be less than $100.
Okay.
And you know what else? They could pay for it. What happened? Dwight, if somebody says, Stephen, do you want to go to Fox Hill Prison?
But
or
you already know the lawyers
will
challenge you on that.
The lawyers will challenge everything.
Yeah, and that won't
and
work.
And here's the thing. Why won't it work?
They're not telling people.
Why won't it work?
I don't know if they're telling people.
Why won't it work? Because the thing is,
well, if we say that's the only option, if you release on bail, this is the only thing we have.
Right.
Well, okay.
The thing is, like, you want bail. These are the conditions of bail, right? That's what it is. Because the thing is, bail.
Well, there's some people who aren't on. Do you keep the ankle bracelet monitors for the folks who are not accused of serious crimes?
And see, yes, you could, right? And I don't see there being an issue where we made a differentiation because for a lawyer to argue, well, this person is charged with murder and that person is charged with jaywalking, or this person is charged for having an unlicensed vehicle.
Could be a white collar crime.
No, not white collar. This person has 2 wives and they're on bail because bigamy is still a crime, isn't it? Apparently, right? You could have 30 sweethearts, but you can't have 2 wives. What a weird world we live in.
Why would you want to? Good
Right?
Lord. Good. Jesus.
But I'm just saying, if a person if a person who is charged with bigamy wants bail.
Okay, you're going down. This
No, I'm saying if he wants bail.
That's a terrible example.
I'm saying I didn't want white collar.
Why not?
Because I would chip those bastards.
You got a lot of issues, Stephen Hanna. Let's hear what folks are saying. Let's hear what folks are saying. I don't know what's wrong with you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good day, this is Saki and Away Salon with you and Stephen Dwight.
What are you doing?
We need justice law in this country, the Bahamas. Tell me something, Dwight. The government or the governments took our money and bought some anklet bracelet, right? And they're not working, right? Or they're not working properly.
There are issues sometimes. Sometimes
tell me the issue.
They don't work
Some
properly.
people can easily take them off, and
Right.
and sometimes they need to charge. They aren't charging properly, some of them.
Dwight, the thing is, right? If government can take all of our money and buy some anklet bracelet, they should got some sort of warranty or guarantee.
Okay, so they hired a company. So I don't know.
They hired a company?
I don't know what your point is. Anyway, oh my God. Yeah, so the company has it. What is your point? That things don't work sometimes, right? That's how it is. Let's focus. Right? We got a whole bunch of people who need to be monitored because of crimes they've committed. What is the reason for that? Right? Let's not focus on the nonsense. Things will happen to things that man makes, right? Make, whatever. You know what I mean. Focus, people. Focus. What are you saying? They need to go buy better quality okay, fine, yeah, sure. But yeah, we still got too many people who are out on bail or need to be out on bail after they've committed allegedly all kinds of stupid crimes. Focus. Call us if you have sensible contributions to make. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Did I blow? I just can't take it anymore. Come on, man. 242-300-5720, right? No? Okay. This is about 242 Day. That's a yearly date. My sister and niece's birthday also on that date. Dwight, you'll always be remembered for it. Oh, okay. Well, great. Thank you. Dwight, why did you allow Stephen to bait you into that long, drawn-out point about no murders on the 24th? Don't you just realize Stephen loves to push a point to make push for debate to make his point? Yeah, well, that's great. That's what he's here for. We appreciate it.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. All right.
I don't understand the complaint. Do they want murder on the day?
I think this is all wrong. Chester, please check the level of the herbs in Dwight's tea. It's too strong. Okay. Okay. I don't know what's happening. But
then they're insinuating something.
Right. But do they mean that I must check your tea? Because I think it's you who might be on something.
No. You're the one who said that you're
I said that, right. But okay. But did I? Stephen never fails to make me laugh. I think Stephen meant to be explicit because implicit means implied. What did you say?
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry. You must be explicit. Yes, the person's correct. I said you must be implicit.
Did you?
Yeah,
I thought I heard you say explicit, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, they're right.
But I agree with Stephen. Chip the bailed out people. I like that suggestion. Chip them or go to jail. Plus, we can find them. I tell you, you'd be surprised what people will do. Some people around here will do some things.
But here's the thing. You will know if it's tampered because there's going to be a hole in your neck. So the thing is, we're not saying that you won't take out the chip. But if you take out this chip, then you go into jail. We know we can't you broken the terms of your bail. It's not like, the only reason they found that guy, because they found him someplace and he didn't have it on, and they're like, hey, where your wife is? Oh, at home, underneath one box on my thing. How you take it off? Oh, I had a paperclip. Where'd you get a paperclip? You don't have an office job. Or I went. I'm just saying, it's a myriad of things that happen before we got to that point. And it's like, you have to come in every day at a certain time to the police station, and we look at the back of your neck. What is this mark on the back of your neck? Why is there blood in the back of your collar? I'm sorry, but the terms of your bail say that you cannot do this.
This person says, I love Stephen's idea, but I have a little twist. Add a little piece of C4, so if it's removed, the body explodes.
Okay, that person watched Suicide Squad.
Well, what if it's like burning them or something? Like, get this out of me! And then, then you cause them to die?
Jail. That won't happen. That's not going to happen.
It's an electronic device inside your body. It could malfunction, right?
I mean, heart monitors, people have literal pacemakers in their body. They're fine. There are people walking around with giant balls of metal because they needed a new hip. They're fine. There's always a chance of something. But here's the thing. You don't have to do it. You could be safe and chip-free in Her Majesty's Rehabilitation Clinic or whatever they call it now.
Wow. It'd be a repeat of Ant-Man where they switched places and there was a giant ant living at the apartment for 3 weeks. Maybe we can use shock bracelets instead of the regular ones. I think we talked about that last week.
Somebody suggested
right? That. Right. Yeah. Maybe. I love Stephen's idea. I had the exact same thought yesterday. Okay. See, Chester, Dwight's going off on Brayman. Ah, boy, the tea is strong. They do hear me saying Stephen, right?
It's an ongoing thing.
They're just sending a message to Chester so he could, if he's listening. So we could, okay. You think it's intentional now that people keep saying
it is?
They're trying to mess with us by saying Stephen and
it's
Chester
like,
the same person?
Like today Matt Damon will be on the show. Oh, sorry, we didn't have any time for Matt Damon. That's what it is. Like,
5 people got that. Maybe 6. Dwight likes Stephen's idea with the chipping of the criminals, allegedly. I'll take it a step further and include invisible fence capabilities, similar to what they do for dogs. Move
Did
too
they put
far.
dogs in caps?
No. Move to.
Because the way you said it.
Stop. Move.
Like, for dogs. Like, why'd you say it like that? That's not how they put it. They said dogs. Maybe they love dogs. You said it like, but dogs.
Why are you picking on everything I say? I don't understand.
It was the way you read it. Go ahead.
That's how I read. Move too far and they'll get shocked. What is Stephen drinking this morning? That's a text. Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
I only want to say one thing. The caller earlier was mentioning a warranty on the ankle monitor.
No, he wasn't. I wish he was, but I wish that would make more sense. But he wasn't.
I think when you answered him, I think that's one of the reasons why they were saying your T was a little strong. You seemed a little frustrated.
It's every day for 32 days. I've been talking about murder and crime. It is. Yeah. I don't know how the police do it. I really don't.
It is ever is.
But that's what he meant. Okay, well, yeah. See, they should get companies that have better warranties for the ankle bracelets.
Right.
That makes sense.
Look at their warranty.
Thank you for translating it. Thank you.
All right, bro.
That makes sense. Did you all get that too?
What?
That's what he meant.
That they should get warranties.
Better warranties with our money.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he thought.
Me.
I think he thought that the government was doing it directly, but it's actually a thing. It's actually a firm.
Yeah, okay. This person says, hey, are you all right? Let's send the criminals to the Netherlands where they are closing the jails. What are they doing right?
So, okay. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted I wanted to message you, but I was in the gym and it's hard to text and lift things, all right?
I don't know if you had to mention all that. You're just showing off now.
No. All right? Right? So, the thing with the Netherlands, right, and all these other countries,
and other European countries,
what we must remember is that it's not just because people say culturally, and what they really mean is they white and we black, right?
Not everybody means that,
but some people do. You can hear when they say it, right? But there is a difference in terms of history and culture, right? And I don't mean culture in terms of like just purely ethnicity. They have a background that's different than ours, right? And in a lot of places, you'll see they have something that's really good, and then on the other hand, this country has a giant problem that we don't have. So it's like these Nordic countries, they have high education rates, and their schooling is great, and they have low jails and stuff, but then the people kill themselves all the time because they don't have sunlight. All right? I'm just saying. But you have to also look at what is the cultural difference that we could adjust our own stuff, right? And it goes back to the original point of, like the caller said, explicitly sharing and doing certain things. We must try. And
okay, you're taking a long time to make the point. The point is that these countries were all where we are. Right? They have been there either in 50 fully. Or 100 or 150 or
Not
200 years ago. Oh, okay. Some of them were terrible. And they have they've evolved, right? Because they were aware that they couldn't continue along this path. And they they decided to focus on the education and on people's skills.
No, I will agree with you that they did realize we need to do certain things and they adjusted themselves. But they also had access to funding through slavery, right? So like the Dutch. All right, they did wonderful things with rubber and Leopold and the Congo. Right, so let's not pretend as though that most of these countries didn't profit off of the backs of slavery or whatever. Right, but I'm saying not that we need to go that route, but you're right. There is a point where we look at and say, what is our culture, and what do we want our culture to be?
And this country is small enough
that we
and we have enough money to change this immediately.
But now the question isn't if we can change it. The question is, what are you willing to do to change it?
Absolutely. Because this mess here, this madness is benefiting a whole lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And they're very happy with the way
including some of the people who are complaining. Some of the people who are complaining about murder,
the biggest complainers,
are benefiting from the things that start the murder.
Yes.
That start the chain reaction that leads to murder.
Right? There's a headline in the Tribune today.
What about Netflix? I mean, Netflix
murders having doubling up effect on funeral homes. I mean, I'm not going to read that story, but I know they're making tons of money.
But Dwight, so the people who print T-shirts only print T-shirts for two things: graduation,
when you have to buy a suit or a new dress to go to a funeral,
or
all these things.
Nobody getting married.
So plenty of people are making lots of money from this, right?
Yeah,
and they are very happy with the way things are.
That's the people who are making money directly. There are people who are making money indirectly, and there are people making money on the front end. That's people making money on the back end. When the body is dead and cold, they're making money. There are people before the person gets killed, if they stop what they're doing, it wouldn't lead to this. And it may sound as simple as let's say you are a giant retailer inside the country, right? And you're like, oh, I need this and I need that. And you're trying to cut costs to make a bigger profit for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So now your workers have to work 2 and 3 jobs, and they already had children when they came to you. Now their children are not being raised or parented properly in any way, shape, or form. And now they fall prey to gangs. And then somebody gets murdered. And then it's like, oh, it's the parents' fault. Well, the parents had a decision. Either we make money to feed the child, or we stay home and all of us starve. Because you underpaid them. And so the same people who are complaining must also look at themselves and saying, what little thing can I do to make the country better?
Yeah. So again, I'm not convinced that people are sufficiently fed up with the craziness.
No, but it's not that. I mean, yes, that, but also they are not seeing where it is their responsibility in some way, what they can do.
Yeah.
And that's what we must explicitly, thank you, Texter, inform them of.
Yeah. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to those who wake up in the line and live, and I hope you had something hard on your chest. Hey, Dwight, while you talking about, you and Stephen talking about 2 for a day, right? Why don't you ask and tell the people, let's have a day that all family members, all friends, all lovers, all buddies turn the guns in. Let's have that day. That's a good day to have. That's an excellent day. That's the best day the Bahamas could ever have, with all family members and friends who cloak in their families or know about things could just turn all the weapons in.
That could be today. Just do it.
That could be now.
Just do it.
Just do it. Thank you, my brother. Y'all have a good weekend, man.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Text messages. Suicide Squad, Task Force X, explosive chip, excellent. But seriously, look up geofence technology.
Yeah, no, the technology exists. Didn't they use that in the movie Disturbia? The Shia LaBeouf film that was a knockoff of Rear Window.
Yeah, once he was under house arrest, so once he left his yard.
Right.
Yeah. But again, we've got, if you notice some of these cases when it's in the paper, these folks are claiming they have work to do and how they have to go to work.
And that's why I'm saying
they have to make money to...
No, but here's the thing. There are certain...
To pay for the lawyer.
The way the geo-tagging and being able to live monitor where the people are going, all right? The same way you have live share on your phone and you could say, okay, this is where I am, this is where I'm going, whatever. Because like sometimes you're moving to a direction or whatever. The same way you could do that, you could do that with all this technology. And the benefit of that is you say that you work where? You work at the gas station? Okay, then we expect to see you at the gas station. You work at the food store? Okay, we expect to see you at the food store. These are your 5 places that you can go on a regular basis: church, home, gas station, food store. Anywhere else, we see you staying for too long, we need you to call in ahead of time and say why you going there and what you want to do.
That adds too much complexity. And too many people, that means you're going to have far too many monitors for these people to make sure. I mean, it can only be after the fact. I mean, they can't like right now see that it's going to be too many people.
No, because here's the thing. It's in the system. The system will say.
You want the AI to do it. The AI will beep once
the
you go to a
technology
place
already exists, Dwight. It can tell you where my phone is. It can tell you, say, every month, Google sends me, hey, would you like to see all the places you visited in December?
I hear
every month.
Let's take this call quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Morning to your guest.
Morning.
First of all, what he suggesting, that ain't gonna wait. So we might as well forget about that. There'll be all kind of constitution writing things coming up.
What do you think?
I would like to know.
Why? Tell us more. Why do you think?
Pardon me?
Yeah, tell us more. Why do you think so?
Well, with him saying cutting people open and putting chip on them and all of that's gonna be a little problem. Trust me.
Why?
You know, and what the next point I wanted to make. What device they use in the States, and they have some ankle monitors, do they take them off the brothers who, let's say, in Florida or whatever? I don't hear nothing happen with them saying they move it or anything.
I mean, they have them in Florida as well.
They're all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, would you hear?
Pardon me?
Would you hear?
What I'm trying to say, maybe the quality bracelet, what they're using, may don't be the best, but they could easily take it off.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm coming from?
I hear you. I suspect that the percentage of the ones acting up is rather low. I would bet money on it. I don't know for sure, but I bet money that it's a few bad apples acting up and a few times, maybe a few malfunctioning, maybe, but collectively, probably not that many, giving people a hard time.
It's probably exactly what, I'm going to say Dr. Wayne Monroe, what Minister Monroe said, that persons have ingenuity and they figure a way around it. And so the reason why I'm presenting this alternative is that it's not to say it will never be tamper-proof, but for now, this seems the most tamper-resistant one.
Okay.
There's nothing constitutionally problematic with it, I promise you.
I mean, any old person could slap an ankle bracelet on you, but now you're going to have to get a doctor or at least a nurse to put this in to the many, 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 many people who are out on bail in this country.
Not many people, because some people are going to say, no, thank you. I'll wait. And if you sign away your rights...
Not many people are going to say it. But, I think you're adding complexity. You cause somebody, if I get
and the next thing,
if I get a bacterial infection because of what you didn't use the right tools or whatever, and I'm sick now.
Sign a waiver. But also, that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Right? Dwight, here's the thing. This procedure happens thousands of times every day all over the world with dogs and cats. We don't need a nurse. We just need a vet.
Stop.
They have been to school for years.
Okay.
They have medical training.
Here,
I am being serious.
What are you doing? Why? Now everyone's just like, oh, well, I was taking him seriously, but now this is a joke. Really? You said that? Final call, and then we read these messages, and then we go to the break. I can't believe you. Good morning. A vet. A vet
is a doctor, though.
I know. I'm just saying. You're going to say, yeah.
It's harder.
I'm innocent, and you are.
It's harder to save a horse.
Making a vet put this chip in me.
Have you ever tried to save a horse?
You really have a lot of nerve.
Have you ever tried to save a horse?
Yeah, we do. Okay, Dwight, if they have the technology for the chip under the skin to track people, like Stephen is saying, maybe they have something that sends a signal when the ankle bracelet is tampered with or removed.
They do.
That could solve a lot of the issues we're discussing. Well, no, not really, because by then the person's already gone and started murdering somebody. And then they come back and like, oh, I left it home charging. Right, something crazy, right? So,
I mean, honestly, it may be that if you're buying, because you know that they have the base model, and then you have the iPhone X Plus.
Don't put that in people's heads. We don't know if that's what's happening here.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that they have They have ones that do things
slightly used versions.
I didn't say that it was the floor model. eBay. That it was refurbished.
If someone's supposed to have an ankle bracelet on, why would it take the police having to go to his or her house to determine that he or she had an ankle bracelet? Shouldn't they be able to find that information out once they check the person's record? Okay, the story didn't quite go the way that you said. They arrested somebody, and then when they put the name or whatever in the system, I think, then they determined that this person's already out on bail. Like, well, wait, where's his ankle bracelet? Right? Something like that.
And then it was home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So it wasn't quite like the way.
Wait, how did I say it?
I don't know. You made it sound like, ain't you the guy with the ankle bracelet on? And they didn't know until they found out who it was.
Yeah, I mean.
They just arrested somebody.
I skipped a line. But I mean, essentially, they found a person, they arrested him, and then they're like, wait.
No, they found out who that was. And
right.
Aren't you supposed to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you're in custody, I assume they'll find who you are.
Everyone's listening to every single word and picking on it. Okay. So you have to be very careful, sir.
You're right. I have to be explicit.
Oh, boy. Persons on bail still can't sign in on the computerized system after being installed for about 8 years. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I think they're saying that they have technology that they feel isn't being utilized properly or correctly.
Okay.
I think that's what they're saying. Maybe they'll text back and further explain it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want Stephen to guess what you're talking about.
No. Well, they might know what they're talking about. Every time I hear a certain, what they call crime, I'm not calling the names. Crime, what are they called? Adjusters? What do they call those people?
Avengers?
The consultant type people. Every time I hear them being paid for doing nothing, it upsets me. This government just isn't serious about fighting crime. The Prime Minister says tourism isn't being affected, but taxi drivers and people in the hotel industry say differently. But the problem is that there is no serious penalty for violating bail, and there won't be because lawyers make money of people being out on bail. And who runs the country?
Bailiffs.
Stephen, what is to stop us from achieving the same thing that these countries have attained? We are wealthy enough right now to achieve this. I think that's what you did agree that is the truth. We could do it if we're serious. If you are serious,
is that? But once again, I think they made a text up before I said what the answer is. The answer is, what are you? Yes, we are willing. We are rich enough, but are we willing to spend the money in the places that it needs to be spent?
All right. These messages here as we go to the break. This person says here, I did a Google search just now on ankle bracelets and microchips and found they both range from $25 to $200. So Stephen has a good point, but will the leaders understand if the ankle bracelet isn't working, then they should try something else like the microchip? Dwight needs a certain brownie. He really is very grumpy this morning. This person says that no one... chocolate? No one wants to cut into their skin, so I think it would work. Okay. Chip under the skin if dogs don't allow tracking. What now? Chip under the skin if dogs don't allow tracking. I don't know, it's just words there. Ankle bracelet just won't work if you were the crime. Something's wrong. Okay, we'll get to these a little bit later. We'll be back. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Get your first look at traffic in, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. In real-time traffic this morning, as usual, Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail to Tawny Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. And your alternate routes, Gladstone Road, still busy. Well, that's pretty busy for you just north of Fire Trail, straight up to JFK Bahamas Boulevard if you're heading northbound. And we're seeing some heavy traffic on East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection. Blue Hill Road busy for you just north of Soldier on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. And Independence Drive, heavy traffic both directions, east and westbound this morning. Robinson Road, bumper to bumper, slow-moving traffic between Soldier and Old Trail. And all the major intersections along Prince Charles Drive seeing heavy traffic, including that one with Soldier and Robinson. Soldier Road is busy for you, especially north of that intersection on the way to Bernard Wolfe and Village Road. And then we've got Eastern Road from San Souci to about Johnson Road. Heavy, slow-moving traffic for you westbound this morning. Building traffic in Saunders Beach along West Bay. And as you approach Arawak Key, especially near Nassau Street, some building traffic there as well. That's what we're seeing in your real-time traffic. Another update after the news. This morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean. We're back with more morning blend after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
8:19 the time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We've got weak high pressure that continues to produce gentle winds across the Bahamas. Meanwhile, northerly swells will continue to promote hazardous beaching and boating conditions across the country. Got a number of warnings. Hazardous boating and beaching conditions expected to continue across the islands, and boaters should not venture far from port due to rough seas and ocean swells, and beachgoers should stay out of the water due to rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Everyone's being advised to exercise caution while along coastal roads as well, especially northern coastal roads, due to possible sea spray. For today, for all areas, we're expecting a mix of sun and clouds with a slight chance of a stray shower, becoming mostly fair and cool tonight. Small craft advisory remains in effect across the entire Bahamas, again due to the presence of moderate northerly swells. Temperatures today look for highs getting up to around 76 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a weak pressure pattern with elevated seas will continue across the islands on Saturday. And then on Sunday, a low-pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico is going to move eastwards. That system is expected to bring some unsettled weather and windy conditions across northwest Bahamas, so look for a major increase in rain come Sunday. So for Saturday, tomorrow, partly mostly sunny with a stray shower or two. A nice, pleasant day. Big changes, though, for Sunday. Variably cloudy, becoming breezy to very breezy with isolated to widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest Bahamas and portions of the central Bahamas by Sunday afternoon. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Time for another check of traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. In your real-time traffic, same challenges we saw before the news. We've got heavy traffic on Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road. If you're heading westbound, Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, you're going to be seeing major traffic as well. Fox Hill Road looking pretty busy for you as you approach that intersection, both south and northbound. And then Beatrice Avenue. That intersection along Prince Charles looking very busy for you westbound travelers this morning. And then there's Soldier Road, that area looking not pleasant for you, especially if you're heading westbound and into Robinson Road. You're not moving there. And then northbound on Soldier Road, heavy traffic north and south of that intersection into the intersection with Wolf Village and Bernard Road. And then we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Right now, the traffic on Independence Drive is mainly eastbound toward the roundabout with East Street. And we've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic still from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway. Heavy traffic on the Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway side, that's westbound, toward that roundabout. And then further up at the six-legged roundabout, still got a lot of traffic northbound and eastbound along JFK Drive. Gladstone Road still busy for you, north of Fire Trail, straight through to the roundabout with John F. Kennedy Drive and Bahamas Boulevard. Building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. And a bit of congestion for you on West Bay Street as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway at Saunders Beach. That's what we're looking at right now in your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean.
At RBC, we know buying your new ride is a very personal experience with many decisions to make. That's why we leave the car choice to you and ask that you leave the rest to one of our RBC Auto Finance specialists, trained to provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream car a reality. The RBC Auto Finance team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/lovemyride to connect with an RBC Auto Finance specialist in your area.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
Foreign Currency brings you the African Giant live in concert. Burna Boy. Burna Boy performing live Saturday, February 17, taking place at Clifford Park. Also performing Rich Homie Quan, 38 Afri, Tro Capone, Maxi Belly, and more. Spinning Gate 2024. Get tickets now. This one is a must that you're there.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the Performing Arts School. We need all the details about it with our special guest this morning. You definitely want to stay tuned for that conversation. But we continue what we were talking about before, the concerns about people out on bail and ankle bracelet monitors and some suggestions that we had before the break. Let's get Stephen's mic up there.
To the eastern side of the studio.
So, okay. So let's see what folks are saying. Some folks are saying that they don't know if they like what you're talking about, Stephen. It sounds like totalitarianism.
No, well, that person is incorrect because I never said anything about what form of government or any ideology.
So if you're just tuning in, Stephen is suggesting that maybe we should move away from the ankle bracelet monitor system and microchip people. See, our guests are looking around like, what?
Here's the thing.
What?
I'm not suggesting
microchip
that we
people
microchip
out on bail.
everybody. I'm saying we offer them the option. You can have bail, but these are the terms, right?
And he also suggested that, because I said, well, you're going to have medical professionals to do this. It's
not necessarily.
He says, but you got all these vets who put them in dogs
Vets
and
do
cats.
it all the
So
time.
I'm like,
it
okay.
costs $25 to $60 for the entire procedure, right? We're talking about an inexpensive, the government, the consultants, everybody's saving money on this, right? We could also pass along the cost of it to the person on bail, all right? They get a refund if they're not guilty.
Say, there's a whole waiting list to get my dog microchipped because they're too busy dealing with the bail suspects.
Well, that sounds like jobs, Dwight. It sounds like this is a win all around.
Yeah, I'm going to study microchipping?
Yeah, it's not that hard, Dwight. Okay. This is something BTVI can look into.
Oh, my God.
And hey, maybe they should. Veterinary science, that's one of those degrees that, what is it?
Well, I think we should call it something different.
No, I meant for the dogs, not for the people.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Either way, the Humane Society is humane.
Stop now.
This would be the Human Society. This would be the Human Society. Anyway, the whole point is, I'm offering solutions, guys.
I see.
I'm offering solutions. That's all I'm here for.
Right. Like solutions like drinks. That's what it sounds like. Or you put some beverage or something in. That's what it sounds like.
The universal solution is water, not alcohol.
The scooters that are currently being rented on our streets have the technology to shut off, beep, and send a signal when they are out of the range. So we can do this.
Everything is possible if you have the will to do it.
See this? This one says, I don't blame Stephen. If they want to act like animals, let's treat them like animals. Wow.
To quote Anakin.
Wow. There are computer stations inside the police stations that at least 90 to 95% of the person signing in cannot utilize. Okay. That's
Oh, that was
interesting.
the one with the internet thing.
Okay. I had an ankle bracelet on years ago to have on one to the court granted it. If the battery goes low, it rings off. You can't be in the area where that crime took place. The ankle bracelet will ring off, and the police will know if you're in that area. They will change it. They will change to a different company. The police used to monitor it. A lot of statements.
I think they're saying that when the police used to monitor it, it used to do all this different stuff. And they're guessing, they assume that it's changed since the police stopped doing it.
This one says here, the lawyers need the criminals out on bail so they can go and rob and kill to find money to pay for their legal fees. What?
Oh, this is and this is not a complete aside. I don't know if I brought this up last time, right? But every time I hear like somebody going on bail, in my mind it's like, how is it that we can extend a line of credit to somebody after they've committed a heinous crime, but we don't provide the capabilities for that same line of credit year round? Because somebody will be like, they live in impoverished situation or whatever, $10,000 bail, $50,000 bail with however many assurities, right? I don't assume that it's cash money, but I assume that it's some sort of credit to say this exists or this person will pay somehow or whatever. $10,000 is more than enough to start a small business, all right? Why can't, I wish there was a way that we could show our people how to access this capital before they are going to court or before they need it to stay free. That's an aside, because the person brought it up just now.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, you never wondered that? Like somebody this person is supposedly poor and that's why they turn to a life of crime, supposedly or allegedly.
It's hardly ever cash bail, though.
No, I know it's not cash bail, but I'm saying it's a line of credit. I may be using the wrong terms, but in my mind, it's like if the bail is $50,000, all right? Somewhere along the line, somebody is putting up something of that value for the credit to say this is worth $50,000 or whatever. Can I not access that outside of being accused of a crime? Because if you could access right now a line of credit for $100,000, you don't make any changes to your life, but you have that access to the $100,000, would that change the way that you live on a day-to-day basis? Is there an opportunity that you might be able to have? Once again, I'm not an economist, right? I'm an ignorant young journalist. What do I know? I don't know nothing, right? I'm just asking a question. If this line of credit exists, but I can only access it if I'm accused of murder, that's ridiculous. Why can't I access it now?
Because it's somebody else's house, somebody else's property.
But I'm just saying, I'm not saying everybody just need to take it and go buy furniture. But if there's an opportunity for you to access this line of credit so that you could improve everybody's life, then shouldn't we be showing people how to do that so that perhaps they could come together and start a business and move themselves out of poverty?
Stephen, this is deeper and more complicated than this, though. A lot of people know what they need to do, and they've decided that this is more exciting or easier. An easier way to live their life than to having to work and sit down.
I suspect it's not necessarily easier, but it is the one that they are. When we talk about common sense, there's one that you know about, and then there's what you don't know, because nobody shares it with you, right?
I think a lot of this is going to come up in our next discussion, right? If people can, right? It might not be actual capital, but the human capital with the talent they have inside.
No, but that's you're talking about philosophical, and I agree with you on that.
No, not philosophical.
But I'm saying with this,
but they do have it. They have it in them.
Yes,
right. But you don't have. So
I'm not in disagreement with that.
We're tapping into.
I'm not in disagreement with that, but I'm also saying there's literal line of credit within
not
that exists somewhere.
No,
it has to.
And as we saw this week with the guy who skipped bail, and now those ladies who put up the bail,
they have to go find money.
Down, right? That's so it doesn't work like that.
No,
now,
I understand.
Now that whole family is going to be even more put back because of this foolishness.
I understand,
so
and that's because the criminal justice system and whatever, right? No, I'm not blaming the system
because of bad choices.
Yes, sure. I'm not debating that. I'm saying that they had access to this chance because it was a crime. I want access. When I wanted to go off to school, I couldn't get none of these banks to give me $10,000. And like, I have people in my family who work for government. And there was like, a person who was the financial loan officer at one of the banks, right? I call his name, said to me, we will not, listen, off the record, stop asking. It ain't gonna ever happen, right? But you're telling me now that if at that same age I had killed somebody or allegedly killed somebody, I might have had access to $50,000.
Thinking about it in a different way.
I understand.
If that person, if your family had taken a second mortgage or something else.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but
that's a different way of looking at it.
And that's fine. And once again, I say I understand. I don't understand it fully, right? But it just feels like there clearly is a way for something to happen, and I would like to discuss that at some point.
All right, so a couple messages as we go to the break. This person says here, the ankle bracelet monitoring system is too sensitive a matter to be in the hands of private individuals. We need to stop that. But we heard just this week when the Bar Association was on the show, they're saying that they do not think the police should be monitoring, as the police are the same people who arrest these folks, and that is a bit of a conflict. So, so it's... They're pros and cons. This person says here, Stephen, it may look like it's cheap now, but as soon as the government gets their hand on it, it'll cost $60 million. I love Fridays with Stephen. Love or hate his views. He challenges Dwight and the rest of us to think more. I'm editing, but that's kind of what they were saying. Yeah, because we were trying to wrap through this segment quickly. Stephen's completely lost his mind today. His Marxist socialist ideology regarding chipping people is repugnant and dystopian. Tell Stephen to turn off MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, BBC, and stop reading Marxist news from the New York Times, the Washington Post, etc. This person hates all media.
I mean,
oh my
also,
gosh.
I can't afford to read any of those things.
What now?
They're all behind a paywall. I don't know what this person talking about.
Okay.
You know what I read? I read the Bible. Now, if they want me to stop reading the Bible, they can go ahead. Feel free to text that.
We need to stop joking. Why not open a division of the police force, hire retired police officers or reserve officers to monitor persons on bail who are awaiting trial? And this final text here. My general rule of what should be done to someone else, assume that you are mistakenly identified by facial technology. What would happen? What would you want to happen to you that you would consider fair? I've seen a very disturbing trend of demonizing the others. It probably goes back generations, but with talk radio, I noticed it specifically after the financial crisis, why these lazy people don't want to work. Then Dorian came and a bunch of people who never thought they'd be unemployed found themselves the others. And then COVID happened. Why these unvaccinated people don't just die? What? Then someone I love who was unvaccinated got severe COVID. Why these ignorant people standing on these bank lines? Why these crazy people driving Japanese cars? Why we can't treat these black young men like dogs? Until it's your child that you never expected would be in trouble. What's that?
Then you change your position on the matter.
Interesting points there. Well, we'll leave that there. When we come back, is this an option to get a handle on the challenges we're facing in the country? We're going to be talking about the Performing Arts School, what's proposed. When we get back, this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Are you ready to break up with your car? Easy Car Sales invites you to fall in love with an electric vehicle. Ditch the gas pump, the expensive mechanics. Feel the freedom, the power. Visit easy242.com and make a date to test drive an electric vehicle today. Get into a better relationship. Find your perfect match at Easy Car Sales and drive electric happily ever after.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Changing gears now this morning, we're going to be talking about the Performing Arts School, CAPAS, the Creative Arts and Performing Arts School. That's what it is going to be called. And here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to have with us the Minister of Education, Glennis Hannah Martin, and the project manager on this, Ian Poitier. Good morning. Great to have you all back with us. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Good to be here.
So where do we begin? So much to talk about here. Okay, let's just start with what it is that this is going to be, what it is, what it's not, and then we'll get into how much is that we can have a whole show on how much this will make a difference. But tell us about it. CAPAS, what is this?
We're going to let our lead man of business give us the outline.
Okay, all right. Ian Poitier, take it away.
So it's the Creative and Performing Arts School. This is a long-held dream, I think, of a lot of creatives in the Bahamas. And I know that because I've been a part of the community over many years as well. It's a school, a conservatory, that will teach the skills you need to have a career in the performing arts. So that's acting, singing, dancing, as well as the creative side, writing, producing, directing, choreography, as well as the technical side. So that's lights, camera, costume, sound, stage management.
I was going to ask if it's just above lines. Like what about
No, it's below the line as well.
Okay.
Film. So it's all of those skills.
And this is secondary or tertiary?
This is tertiary.
Tertiary.
So this is after high school.
Okay.
The minimum age for entry will be 18.
Okay.
There's no upper limit. So you can audition at any age, Dwight.
Thank you. Good to know. Good to know.
So like, I know you said it's a conservative. Like, how does it work? Is it going to be like a certification? Is it going to be like a residency? How, like, what's the form?
It's 3 years full-time. They're also part-time courses. It'll probably be diploma-based, but that depends on the kind of accreditation that comes out of it. The key distinction is between conservatory training and liberal arts training.
Right.
So some schools will teach dance and acting as electives, and you have to do French and maths and all the other things. Conservatory teaching, they don't worry about that side. So when I trained, you had ballet in the morning, then jazz, you had 15 minutes break, you had voice lessons, you then had a break where you tried to grab lunch, you then had classical acting, you had contemporary acting, you then had break, you then had personal coaching in the afternoon, so that's voice, singing, a music instrument, piano, violin, or whatever. You then had group classes, so harmony singing, rap classes where you kind of cold read stuff. You developed your own portfolio. Late afternoon, about 5 o'clock, you started having your serious rehearsals for things. And if you were lucky, you got out of the building by 7.
And this is how you envisage this is going to work?
Yes.
Just like that? Wow. So you're going to get a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's over 3 years you build up those core skills. Now, the different courses will have different balances. So if you're on an acting course, you will have more text work. You'll probably do more mask and improvisation work. You'll probably have a lot between screen and microphone, radio work, and stage work. So it depends on what the particular course is. But at the end, you should be employable. You should be seriously employable. You should also be able to start your own creative business, should you want to do that. So if you want to produce, you'll have the skills around money and talent, investment, doing deals, and so on.
Right. So, I mean, to that, because I know a big part of the problem isn't necessarily that a lot of humans are talented. They lack the refinement of it becoming like a skill, like through practice and all that type of stuff. But there's also, for lack of a better term, the ignorance of how to do the business of it, right? So when you talk about producing, what a producer does versus what a director does versus what a writer does, what those parts feel very like sit down paperwork stuff. And so I hear you talking a lot about the art side of it, the business side of it, how much of that is also going to be a focus, because without that part, the dancers will be there, but they won't be able to necessarily profit off of this.
So what we need is an ecosystem.
Right.
And the real game changer around this, what Minister Hannah Martin calls the paradigm shift, is this is about sustainability. So raw talent is great, but you need real craft to get through 8 shows a week and not collapse. Otherwise, you'll hurt yourself. And you need that to be managed in a way that makes sense for business. So rather than a kind of, what happens now is you do something, and it might be a huge success, and then you have a drop-off afterwards. Like there's nothing else to go to. That happens in careers, because that's part of the game. But what should happen as a result of this is you have people like producers, like agents, like managers, whose job it is to make that more sustainable and make the money work.
And so those are going to be trained there too.
They're going to be trained there as well. Now, I should just clarify, this is the vision for the school.
Right.
The school might not be the individual provider for that thing. So we want to build on what's happening here. If there are good courses already happening that build up towards producing, then let's do that. Producing, you need to know every department's work. So you need to make the money work, but you also need to be able to develop scripts and develop stories. You need to be able to work with actors. You need to be able to hire crew. You need to be able to sell it on to distributors and exhibitors. You need to be able to manage and edit so that people aren't ripping you off, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so we've had a couple of shows on this before, and many were wondering whether this would be tertiary or secondary. Why the thinking for tertiary as opposed to a high school where people would learn these, or both? What was the thinking there?
Well,
Minister?
Thank you. What we wanted to do is in the curriculum to develop the preliminary fine arts, and really we're working now on infusing the curriculum with the creative arts and fine arts skills, so that this will prove to be a feeder for this tertiary institution. We're doing the same thing with technical and vocational. We're introducing it now at 9th grade and sometimes at 7th grade. But the feeder now would be into a BTVI, and so this is the high school would be the fertilizing space for feeding into the tertiary institution for those students who have determined that this is the way they want to go.
Right.
Wow. If I can add to that as well. So at 18, that's the age of legal majority, and at that age you're determined to be sufficiently mature to manage yourself. The work is intense. There's a lot of sort of psychologically challenging elements to it. If you get the storytelling right, you're confronting the big things of life, life, death, and so on. So you want people who are sufficiently mentally kind of mature. There's also a practical side. Under 18, there are some safeguarding issues that come in, which add a whole layer of management to it. You can't, these are people who are sexually maturing. You need to make them safe for themselves and for others. And so there's a kind of practical thing there. In time, I hope we do have a high school for the performing arts. But you're asking people to make very big decisions at 11 about their careers if you do that.
Right.
So, once you have the 18 plus thing happening, and we know there's a feeder system in and also a career path out, then I think we'd be more comfortable to make that option available.
Yeah, but I want to reiterate though, we want to offer the creative arts across the board
Right.
to all young people, because just as I wouldn't want to use the word therapeutic, but just as an outlet for young people. There are those who are going to focus and specialize at some point, and maybe you'll have a magnet school of that, high school of that kind. But I grew up in that kind of school system where access or exposure to the creative arts is just an empowering, enriching, just place of solace in some instances. And so we want it across the board in our curriculum, and that work is underway now.
Yeah, right.
So yes, and then also to Dwight's point, I think that if it was a high school, that high schools have to focus also on, like you said, English and math, and this is a conservatory. They're really focused on the art itself. But with all this stuff in mind, all right, will there be, I don't know how to say it other than protections by the government so that this industry can then grow, right? Because you have persons who, right now, Bahamians are producing music. Everybody's a rapper, everybody's a singer, everybody recording music. And it's very easy to record music. I'm using that as like a low bar of entry. But in terms of when you listen to the radio, it's like, well, these ads don't necessarily use Bahamian music, or they don't use Bahamians in them. There are ads that have just American voices in it. And it wasn't written by a Bahamian, it wasn't produced by a Bahamian, there are no Bahamians in it. But that's an opportunity for the creative arts persons to make money. So once the school is there, like, is it working hand in hand to say, well, this is what the persons who leave the school are going to need in order for that to thrive? Is that being worked on at the same time? So I apologize for this intense question.
No, it's fine. There's just several questions in there.
Yeah.
I think I'll start with the last one, which is that's a kind of legal and policy framework which is outside the scope of what we're doing. But yes, of course, we'll advocate that Bahamian talent is given some sort of prominence. There's currently a consultation happening around intellectual property stuff, and copyright is the particular bit that would affect this industry. So that is currently being worked out. One of the bits that the school will offer is a library and a repository. So you will be able to say, I made this song, I'm going to register it with the school, and we'll give you a sort of protection number, copyright number, whatever, and then help you to make money from that. So when you hear your song playing on the radio, when you see your poem being read by people you don't know, you can say, that's mine, I did that, and it's registered as an artistic work. But I think there's a wider question, and perhaps that's something that will come out as we move forward. Do we want a country where we sort of say to people, you can only play Bahamian this or whatever that? Or do we want a country where there are more choices? I think that's a public question, and maybe some things you need to do for a little bit. So you say at the very beginning we have to do that, and then afterwards we change it.
All right, so we're going to break for news in a bit. So after that, I want to get into some of those conversations on how this can change this country and socially as well. But I want to find out some more details about how the school's going to work. So you've got a few programs at UB that are mirroring some of this. Will they be incorporated? Will they move from UB to the school? How does that work exactly? Especially the music programs over there.
We're in conversation with them, and we're developing a number of partnerships, and we're looking to them for a key partnership. So, for example, people who want to come to the conservatory who do have needs around maths and English especially, will hopefully get some studies there. They do have a program. We discussed. We haven't quite worked out how the partnership will work. The music department I've had more conversations with than perhaps the wider team. As I said earlier, we want to build. This is not about cannibalizing anything and kind of shifting anything around. But these should all be part of a network of opportunities. When you're leaving school and you look around and say, what am I going to do with my life? Look at your strengths, look at your opportunities. Where's my life going to go? Just to add to something the Minister said earlier, we know from the National Development Plan research that the creative arts areas, so design and so on, have had the highest scores at the BGCSE level. So we don't want to extrapolate too strongly from that.
But there's a creative impulse.
There's creative impulse there, exactly.
Very strong.
And also, as Minister said, these things don't have to translate into a career. It's just something you do. I trained in musical theatre, and my current job is a million miles away from that. So, it gives you a way of thinking, a kind of empathetic sense. It gives you an understanding of the world, and also a way of understanding yourself. Which I think is perhaps the most profound opportunity here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk more about entry requirements. Have you sorted that out yet? How would you qualify to be in this school?
So, Dwight, you can audition.
Uh-huh.
It's all going to be open audition. At the kind of core of the school will be a kind of elite group. That's the highly talented, highly dedicated. These are the best of the best. Mm-hmm. There will be opportunities for the gifted amateurs, the enthusiastic professionals who work in other industries, people who want to do community stuff, so evenings and weekends, holidays and so on. But audition is a way of just assessing where you are. What can you do? There's no point in putting somebody into an intense program when they can't cope with it, or when their skills level don't match it. I don't want to discourage anybody, but sometimes, our, how can I say this? Our assessment of our own talent is perhaps exceeds our ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just need to make sure that you're streamed properly.
Mm-hmm. And who would determine this? Do you have a board, or how would that work?
So traditionally, you have an audition panel. Mm-hmm. You come in. It's very intense. Usually that happens over a couple of days. So you have a first round where everybody's there, and then there's a kind of streaming or whittling or whatever, and you get called back and then asked to go into deeper things. So when I auditioned for my training, it was, I think, 3 days. You had a full day, then you had to prepare stuff and come back, and then they want to see how flexible you are. Mm-hmm. And then there was a sort of interview to see what you're like as a person.
And that panel will be comprised of, is it going to be a mix, or is it going to be people, local persons who feel have arrived at a certain level, or is it going to be persons brought in?
So a mix of things. It's what you're assessing for. So you want people who are teaching in the school. Mm-hmm. I need to be able to see who I'm going to have to teach.
Right.
You want people perhaps on a kind of business level who are looking at kind of broader things. And then there are people kind of, who are in industry. So maybe you have some people who run a theatre or run a whatever, who say, actually, that's a real talent that we need there. Mm-hmm. Or we have too many similar types coming in. So we need to kind of make sure that there's a balance there. Hopefully we'll talk in a minute about some of the career paths that we're also building out of this.
Right.
But I think the message I would want people to take away is do not have a fear of audition. That's not it's not the rough ride you see in movies, mm-hmm. which is kind of brutal. There's much more kind of care around that. The first school I auditioned for, you had to submit x-rays to show your body. And I discovered I have a curved spine. I never knew that. And they rejected me.
Because they say you can't dance because your spine too.
Well, because I have scoliosis, It meant that if I were a contemporary dancer, I would have been paralyzed by now. And so they sent me to Pilates, which is a system of machine and kind of mat-based work. And so my spine has strengthened and grown in a way where I can stand upright. I'm not crippled. But I didn't know that. And I cried. And they said, actually, you're better at musical theatre because your body's not going to be. I can cry. I cry a lot.
Will you be doing x-rays of people who audition?
Yes, if we. So generally, as part of your insurance and part of your accreditation, it is irresponsible to take people in if they're not fit for it. Okay. And I mean, the x-ray is just one small thing. It's also the assessment of is somebody ready for this. Mm-hmm. If you and let's imagine this is a sort of scholarship interview, and I've been on some sort of boards here for that. You see a young person before you, and there are some people who you know are just not sufficiently mature to deal with what your program is. So you say to them, come back next year. I need you to be in touch a bit more with kind of being an adult. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad thing. It's a safeguarding thing. Yeah. It would be terrible if we recruited young people into this who couldn't cope. And we're talking, about young people, but, if a 60-year-old came in, right. And you want to make sure that we're not going to have them fall down in the studio on day 2 as well.
Before we go to the news, how many people will you be able to take in the first year? Do we know yet?
We don't know yet. This is the consultation.
Right.
This is what we need
Still
to know.
Going on.
I mean, this is a best guess, but hopefully when you guys show up, we can take everybody. But this is what we have to determine, because there's a ratio between the building and the number of studios you need and the spaces versus the number of staff you need to recruit and the number of students you can get in any particular cohort. But also, this is just all sense stuff now. We're all guessing. We don't know the numbers. And so we're encouraging people to register. We have a Facebook page that's live at the moment. We encourage people to go there, like it, follow it, so we can capture information. We have a consultation happening over the next 2 weeks. The schedule will be posted there, but it's going to be in different parts of town. I want you to come in, test the ideas, test the vision, put forward your ideas so we can build on it. But also say, I'm interested in, being a student. I'm interested in teaching. I'm interested in one of the ancillary services. We've got to run a cafeteria because nutrition and diet's important. We've got to run, all kinds of ancillary operations.
Childcare. I just, this is really the breaking of the ice. It's unprecedented. It's historic. It's a mining exercise to discover, amongst the broader approach of the school, the incredible talent that this nation has, and we see it left, right, and center. This is going to really change our country in a tremendous way, in a fundamental way. Art is joy. Art is a way of even expressing grief and pain. Art is life, and this is going to create an outlet, not just within the confines of the school. It's going to shift the culture of how we see art. And I believe this is going to be a very civilizing embrace of the Bahamian people.
Yeah, desperately needed. Desperately needed. Okay, we're going to get into this a little bit more after the news break, including timelines and if you've located a building as yet. We're going to get into all of that with Minister Glenn Santa Martin and Ian Poitier. This is a Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business on this Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Dwight Strachan with Stephen Hanna. We are having a great conversation with the Minister of Education, Glennis Hannah Martin, and the project manager of CAPAS, the Creative and Performing Arts School. That is coming soon. We'll find out more about when in just a bit. We've got Ian Poitier with us. And having a great conversation so far. We've got a lot of interesting text messages, though. This person says here, this is more shoot-from-the-hip ideology. UB has yet to meet international standards. Where is the white paper or written plan for this school? And where can we see it? Is there a plan that people can look at, or is it all in your heads?
So we had a launch event on Wednesday, and we put out a very detailed vision. That will be uploaded to a website, which goes live shortly. We are entering the consultation phase. We need to get the opinions from members of the public. That then informs the business plan to bring this into reality.
So, Minister, you said it off here. This is the launch now.
This is the launch.
Now we need everyone to come to the table.
Yes, it's consultation. It's talking to all the stakeholders. And on the issue of UB is in the process of accreditation. And so it may look like shoot from the hip, but I can assure that it is a much more, it's an exercise with great circumspection. And we intend to engage in consultation and to develop a shape of this school in conjunction with partners that will meet international standards.
Can I just challenge the shoot from the hip thing? I spent 2 years working on this. You know, just because it hasn't been blasted out doesn't mean it hasn't been happening. That work has been going around internationally to get peer support, enlisting support of key people internationally. You saw that Mr. Tyler Perry visited a few months ago. Part of that conversation was him expressing support for this. It's building credibility. It's testing certain parts of the vision.
You looked at studios.
And it looks at studios. When you run a consultation, you need to have some details attached. You can't just brainstorm it. Otherwise, it's unproductive. So you come up with a detailed vision, which we now present, that's then tested going forward. This is going to happen quite quickly, but you need to be very methodical at each stage. I've run large projects before. This is a method I know that works.
Yeah. We got the president of the Teachers Union asking questions. She's saying, well, where's the fine arts curriculum? We don't teach fine arts in school. We don't have fine arts teachers. Who are the stakeholders here? The union has not been included. We're only hearing about this in the media. Where are the teachers? What's the criteria?
I'll deal with that. We do have some level of fine arts. It's really underdeveloped. It's really embarrassing. You have music. You have some level of dance, I guess.
And art.
You have art. But it's underdeveloped. The president of the Union of Teachers will know that we advertised several months ago for an education officer to help us develop a fine arts program across the board. And I think teachers applied, and the interview process will take place very quickly, in a couple of weeks, I think. And so we do have teachers that are fine arts teachers. We have a shortage of fine arts teachers, and maybe this school will help us in developing that. This is really a policy shift where there is an absolute focus and commitment to developing the arts, not just at the tertiary level, but at the primary and secondary level. On the issue of consultation, this is really a tertiary institution, so it's not really teachers in the public schools. But of course, those teachers potentially can have a role in this tertiary institution. And so on the issue of consultation, Ian can say how teachers can be involved in this.
So in fact, we have, I think, one, possibly two sessions dedicated to people who want to lead or teach. And there's some implications around that. So these are specialist disciplines, and we expect that there won't be that many people. So as we move towards opening, from later this year, hopefully, we want to start a teacher training program. People who think they might want to teach, people who have existing schools. There are a lot of small dance acting schools around. But we need people to be internationally accredited if we want to have a school of international standing. And we want a school of international standing because we want to be world-class, certainly the best in the region, one day the best in the world.
Remind us again about the areas of study, what will be included in this.
But also, not just the areas of study, but in terms of if everything is the 3-year course or if there might be short courses. Because you might have somebody who's a lawyer and they want to learn, well, how can I do art? How could I work this into it, right? How could I, because I don't feel like we have enough lawyers that focus on the creative arts or any at all.
So,
right? Go ahead.
Yes, so 3-year courses, the full time. I expect we'll have 1-year courses as well, but I expect there'll be much shorter courses for, say, professionals who want to continue. So if you're currently a singer, and you're singing in a hotel, you might say, you know what, I really want to improve my lyric writing, I want to improve kind of whatever, I want to shift my tone, I want to support my voice better. We'll have courses available for them. There are community courses as well. I use the example of a choir I saw, a combined gospel choir with C.C. Winans. You know, and there were some people on that stage, about 100 people. And all of them, I imagine, do other things. But some of them were just living their best lives. And you just think, wow, if you had an opportunity, you mightn't give up your day job because that's high risk and you have children and mortgages and things. But you might say, you know what, I could spend a little bit of time, I can use my holiday to do something. There'll be master classes and workshops and all of that. So there will be a flexibility in there. These are open questions because we need to test the appetite and test the interest. You know, there's no point doing this if people don't want it. And I'll just say generally, it's a point I made at the launch on Wednesday. I really encourage everybody to help build dreams rather than kill dreams. You know, this could not happen, and it will carry on as we are. But guess what? It could happen, and we're going to make it happen. And there's a real commitment to happen.
Yeah, and can I say on that though? That's I think we need a more engendering environment in the country. Something might be new. But we have a large level of, I hate to be plain and frank, cynicism, which may be justified in a lot of instances. But there's not everything invites that level of thing. But Stephen, I think you will be a very good candidate for the school.
Oh, yeah.
You are creative.
Well, I mean, in terms of what? Teaching or to be a
student, everything.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I was accepted to 2 film schools, but I did not have, as you may have heard right before you came on, I did not have the funds to go to either of them. And so for a very long time, it's like I wanted to do a master's in fine arts in film. But now, since the amount of time that's elapsed since then, it's
still
like,
young.
No, but I see there is more of a need locally for the producing stuff, the behind the camera stuff, right? And so like that, and so when you say, when you talk about people encouraging it, it is not that we could do this, we have to do this because everything builds off of culture. People will call in every day and say, oh, everything's falling apart and the people aren't being brought up right. Here's the thing, no society is brought up solely by 2 people. It's brought up by a bunch of different things, including the media.
Yes, everything.
And so like if we are not producing the songs and the stories, somebody else is.
The village.
But here's the thing that's happened in the past 2 years. The government has made a complete commitment to doing this. It was a commitment made in the Blueprint for Change, which is the policy kind of document of the administration. Money, actual real money, has been allocated in the budget for this period of development.
1 million.
There's also money being promised going forward to offer scholarship to every Bahamian who interested in attending to qualify in the same way that it's done for UB and BTVI. So, Stephen, if you were applying now, that opens that door to you.
Okay,
these were negotiations that were debated and fought for and moving forward. We have a prime minister, we have ministers who are committed. The number of ministers who showed up the other day for the launch, speaks to that level of commitment. There's an aggressive timeline. The target we're aiming for is doors open on a new building, January 2026. And it may not be fully ready, all the bits may not be there, but we're going to run it. We're going to have classes there.
And again, what are you thinking are going to be some of the programs initially? What will likely be?
So the thought is to go for the foundational things. Storytelling is at the heart of so much of what is produced. So you want to get your writers and storytellers functioning. So looking to start writing courses specifically around film, playwriting, speech writing, all the kind of performance writing side of things. Start those quite quickly. We need people's bodies to start getting in shape quickly. So we're supporting the National Dance School to really try and expand the classes, get that up and running. The school can start in existing spaces before we build something. But those are the 2 foundational courses I think we need to get cracking on.
Wow. All right. This texter says, I'm thrilled to hear this. Currently, my daughter is studying theater and performing arts at a university in Canada. There was no such option available, I guess, here. My full support goes out to this idea, and I look forward to seeing great things happen in the arts world. You deserve kudos for this. All right. To those who don't get it, though, who are thinking, oh, we need to focus on real skills that you could use, what do you say to those? You've talked a little bit about it, Minister.
Real skills.
They're very dismissive, of course, right?
Yeah.
But we know better. We've seen how this has transformed other societies, other countries.
Right.
Send the message to those folks.
From
who
the
don't get it.
professional thing, I'm going to let Ian speak about that. But at the launch, we saw Bahamians all over the world, all over the world, who are making waves and creating careers in the varying arts. And he'll speak to that. But from the point of
recession-proof careers too, right?
recession-proof careers. But just from a general point of view, I'm trying to find the language to describe it. The arts are the way of getting outside of yourself and getting inside of yourself. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. And this is an empowering genre that will help anyone in any area, whether it's in professions, whether it's in the technical field, whatever the area is. But it is a way of developing your humanity, refining the way you articulate, the way you present, and it taps into the creative energies and spirits of people. And the Bahamian people are incredibly creative. It's who we are. Yep. We are that first. And then we're the other things. And you see it in Junkanoo, but it's not just Junkanoo. And so this outlet, this avenue, this pathway for our young people is going to change, transform. It's going to transform our people, and in a way in which we will become more of who we are. And I think that's what's missing. We are not who we necessarily see now, No. We're seeing something else. Who we are is beautiful, it's colorful, it's rich, it's powerful. Yep. And this is an avenue. And I see young people all over this country just opening up. And that can't hurt anybody. No matter what how you may see it, that can only engender to the strength of our nation.
Ian Portier.
Sorry, I was very moved. This is why having a minister who's so passionate and committed to it is going to really help drive this forward as well.
But the career, the skills.
There are a number of careers that branch off, and some of them you don't see. So I'll give you a little slice. If you can write, if you can tell stories, there's a world of possibilities. If you write speeches, that's an incredibly internationally lucrative career. There are international agencies for speechwriters. And the number of people who need a decent speech, often quickly, is legend.
But also people who need coaching and how to
speak. That's also another career path. One of the Bahamians who came on the Zoom the other day during the launch is a man called Ronald Pete. He's based out of New York. He makes a significant living from reading audiobooks. And his voice is beautiful, just very pleasant to listen to. But that is a massive unseen career. Very lucrative. Oh. People may not know your face. You can walk down the street and have a quiet life. He's also doing other things. He's got a Netflix series coming out in summer and so on.
And his daddy from Andros.
But these are careers that you don't see. Some of the career paths we're looking at, for example, alongside this, we intend to build a Center for the Performing Arts, and we'll have national companies who are resident there. They will perform and have their residencies, but they'll also tour internationally and hopefully be part of our tourism offering, living billboards for our culture, so that people can see who and what we are.
You can't have tourism, because people think tourism is a physical thing. It's not sense, sound, and see, because those are things we have no control over. Tourism is actually somebody coming to experience your culture. And if we don't have the space to build the culture, then we don't have a tourism product. And I think that's part of the issue that we have here.
That's product.
And also, our Junkanoo culture, I was talking to somebody in a shack the other day, and he was saying we've got 2 people left in the country who make cowbells, Bahamian cowbells. And
one lives in Engliston, by the way.
But it's, those are the kind of things we need to build the crafts on and help Junkanooers.
I have to ask you that. So is Junkanoo going to be part of this as well? Is this going to be...
So we have to be careful. This is not a content-based thing. So we're not telling the culture what it is. We're not saying this is what it needs to be. It's a skills-based thing. So yes, the Junkanoo skills that are needed will be part of this. And we need to engage with Junkanooers as Junkanoo.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you got your brainstorming over there. Use a hand. But let me just say this, right? We are introducing Junkanoo into the curriculum. I've spoken about it a lot. I spoke to the director yesterday. Even today, they're meeting to see how to integrate it into the curriculum. Junkanoo was declared a couple of months ago as a intangible world cultural heritage. And they heard it globally. They've heard and they've seen it. And, you know, and I say if you look at Junkanoo alone, if you look at children, I have a video on my Facebook page. This boy has to be about 4 years old. And the way he's beating the drum is just not, it ain't natural.
You're right.
Okay? And and you see it in Junior Junkanoo. The imbued natural talent of our young people is just incredible. So while it's not a content-based thing at the Tertiary Institute, in our curriculum at the high school, in the primary and high school level, we're going to integrate Junkanoo, because Junkanoo is mathematics, it's physics, aerodynamics, it's music, it's art, and so you will see that in very short order in the curriculum for our young people. They're going to understand it, they're going to love it, and it's going to enhance the academic skills on top of everything else.
Okay.
Well, the question I was going to ask then is, so clearly, and once again, we're talking about above and below line and people that you don't see but you need. There's also going to be room for, I'm guessing, the people who make set designs and all that stuff, because that's where I would see a person learning the skill of making a bell would be inside like a physical course like that.
So if you think what the visual artists have done in recent years, you know, we have had an explosion of energy and talent and kind of adventure, I think, in the work. They express a lot of it on canvas or in three-dimensional stuff. Those skills can adapt so easily to scenic design or cinematographic design, and build new worlds. That can go to book design, you know, illustration and so on. It's expanding all those core skills.
Transferable.
Exactly
what is it? Transferable skills.
That's right. That's right. But again, it's taking talent and crafting it in different ways. That's exactly right.
But also giving them the space, because if you've ever gone inside a shed built by somebody from BTVI, and then also go behind the scenes of a theater, you realize, oh, this is the same type of wall.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just that they don't know that there are other uses for it.
Exactly.
All right, we're running out of time. We've got a couple calls, if you don't mind. Let's take these. Caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business. Caller, good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well.
Your guests are just amazing this morning. I watched the launch virtually, and I just happened to call after you all mentioned Junkanoo. This is Angelique McKay, and I am very, very excited about this opportunity. And I know for a fact when the minister had mentioned collaboration with so many other ministries and everybody being on board, I know for a fact Minister Alcides is on board with this initiative. He spoke at the event, and what Ian would have mentioned too, we have so many Bahamians abroad that go under the radar because they're successful in these different careers, right? Like we have a filmmaker in New York, and he's from Crooked Island, and his movie, Who in the Morning, is being premiered around the world right now to sold-out audiences. So it allows people to see the creative arts of Junkanoo by way of that film, as well as seeing that we have world-class quality filmmakers. So I am excited about this, and I support this initiative 100%. So this was my debut call-in, by the way.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Once
it.
you say Junkanoo, Angelique.
Yeah, of course. There's a bat signal for her. Let's take another call really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to your guests, Minister.
Freddie, good morning.
Hey, morning.
Congratulations on this initiative.
Thank you. I know you were very interested in this.
My question, when we would have trained all these wonderful Bahamian artists, where are they going to work? Are we going to also incorporate and establish an entertainment cultural encouragement act so that the private sector can invest in the industries of the orange economy so that we could control this part of the economic pie, so that we could create opportunities for our people to gain employment so that they can have a sustainable career? Secondly, in the heads of agreement, it is time that we make it mandatory that these foreign direct investors make spaces available on their properties that could be owned by Bahamians, so that specifically to introduce the Bahamian experience. I'll hang up and listen to you.
Okay, thank you. I think Ian and I will share the answer to this, but I think they're very good questions because all of this, to what end? And on the issue of legislation and all that, I can't say. But I think Stephen raised the issue, and I think it's something that we really have to, 2024, and we're still having the conversation about how we are able to develop the cultural component of who we are as a aspect of our tourism paradigm. And I think that is sorely, and I use that word very decidedly, sorely missing. And so I think that in conjunction with other stakeholders, if not the statutory thing, and we have to look at that, we have to ensure that we shift the way in which things are being done around this country. On the issue of heads of agreement, you'll find that in most of them, they do have language which says that they will use their best efforts to use Bahamian art, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that the energy and the thrust has to change. There has to be greater political commitment. There has to be a greater community and cultural commitment to ensuring that we inculcate the arts into all of our projects. So on all of the questions that you asked, I think that certainly as it relates to the domestic reality, that more will happen, must happen, and in terms of incorporating.
Well, Minister, I think what will help is when people don't say the things this texter is saying. This person says, stop it. The only special Bahamian people are the people in special ed. Please stop the hyperbole about how creative and special we are. We are simply black humans, and other black people are far more creative. If you don't believe me, go on TikTok and see what African men are doing. Stop lying to ourselves and encourage better. If it does not encourage better if we lie and say that we are special, we are celebrating mediocrity. And if we stop this, we'd be doing a lot better than we are.
I mean, part of the reason why that person thinks that way is because that person, they've never seen the greatness of Bahamians, because we don't have enough of it being put in a platform in front of that person. They're clearly looking at other people and they're saying, well, this person can do that. And
this is ignorance. I mean, this person obviously is not aware of the amazing, the greatest actors in the U.S. are of Bahamian descent. The first Oscar winner, the many in the 70s, almost everybody was a Bahamian.
Right. Lenny Kravitz,
all of these.
The musicians,
This is insane, and you need to educate yourself on what's really happening here.
I don't endorse that message.
No, but it should be to a point where we need to push the culture. And when you talk about culture, a lot of times we sit down and we think the culture is just going to happen without us putting any work into it, right? And it might, but if we don't consciously sit down and say, this is the direction that we want to go, and we are going to put it this way, the idea of the American dream was put forward because of television. The reason why there are so many people, even in the Bahamas to this day, who are like, weed is bad, is because the American government gave money to producers to say, everybody has to produce one episode where you say, don't do drugs, right? That was a thing. And without that push, we wouldn't have the results that we have. The reason why people are open to marijuana now is because the government has gone in the opposite direction, and television is like, well, let's show people using weed and having fun, and now people are like, oh, weed isn't so bad. The media controls.
The point you make about the outlet is very important. It's one of the reasons musicians have gravitated, and artists, to Junkanoo.
Right.
Because it is the one premier platform.
Right.
This is going to create a wider spectrum, the opportunity for more artists and performers to participate and to refine their skill in art.
All right, we've got about a minute left. Let's end this on a more positive note. Listen to this. My son has a degree in sound engineering and movie production. One of his dreams is to see legislation to protect Bahamian creatives, and they're asking, but you talked about that earlier, right, what needs to happen. This person says, my daughter is finishing a master's degree in communications and heading off for a PhD. How long before these programs will be up and running? Because she really, really wants to come back and wants to be at UB maybe and helping Bahamians. She's teaching in Illinois at Illinois State as we speak. So a lot of people who would love to be part of
2026, right?
First thing is people should go onto the Facebook site now and register their interest, follow, say, please get in touch or whatever. They should get engaged with the consultations over the next 2 weeks. Some of them will be virtual, so people around the world can join in, be part of the conversation. We'll have a website up and running shortly. They can register on that, so they'll get stuff blasted out. We're going to keep a blog on that and newsletters and so on, so people are aware of what's happening. In terms of the timing, I said we want the building open beginning of January to start building-based classes. Working backwards from that, it means that back end of this year and next year is when the real sort of learning stuff is going to happen. It won't all happen overnight. This is a very big, very integrated vision. So we'll start in 2026, but really it takes 7 years to make a body. So we're looking for a kind of transformation. But if we don't start, it'll never happen. And we go forward in the certain knowledge that this is a game changer.
Yeah. And the name of the Facebook page again?
It's the Bahamas Creative and Performing Arts School, CAPAS.
Okay. Ian Poitier, Minister Glenn and Santa Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more over these 2 years. And good luck. Good luck. And we are all rooting for this to succeed. We know this has to. It really has to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to be back with more Morning Glenn business after this.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bump into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Life is unpredictable, so when the unexpected pops up and you need cash fast, you can handle it in easy-to-manage bite-sized payments with a cash advance from Scotia Select Pay. With Scotia Select Pay, you can take a lower-interest cash advance on your Scotia credit card in 3, 6, 9, or 12 monthly bite-sized payments. When the unforeseen strikes, trust a cash advance from Scotia Select Pay, the new, easy, and useful way to get cash now and pay later in convenient bite-sized payments that won't break your budget. Try it now on the Scotia mobile app or via Scotia Online.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Put your voices in the air. Let's go. Come on. My brothers and sisters, how they do us in. They chase us from the still don't man, we can't win. I don't know why they don't leave us alone. Ain't gonna be too long, we gonna fight back soon. Some days I just sit back and dream. Putting plans together, man, I plot, I scheme. How to give these Bahamians them the big payback. Instead of farming crops, so we getting crab attack. Calling crabs, get ready to fight. Calling crabs, oh we marching tonight. All crabs, put your fighters in the air. We on the move, so everyone beware. Check it. They round us up, hundreds at a time. Throw us in the focus and these people lay kind. They wash us down, put us in the bin. I see they got my cousin and my two best friends. Here comes a lady with a fat little son. They pointing at the pen saying, give me that.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Stephen Hanna. And changing gears now, the ITU, the International Trade, let me get the name right, Telecommunications Union, the ITU, inviting young nationals to become Generation Connect Youth Envoys. To explain what this is all about, we're very pleased to welcome back to Morning Blend from IRCA. We've got Juan McCartney. Good morning, sir. Happy New Year. Great to have you with us.
Hey, morning, Dwight. Happy New Year. Good to be back on Guardian Radio.
I want you to know, people still, like, when I go walking, people stop me and say, hey, man, what happened to Juan? I'm pretty sure Juan's been off for a while now. And they're like, man, where you going? We need Juan.
Yeah. They do every day. So it's good to know I'm missed.
Yes, you're missed. Okay. So let's talk about this. Go on.
Know that I'm working to make the Bahamas a better place through IRCA. We're changing lives over here.
Okay.
Okay, so as you said, the International Telecommunications Union, which is the agency established by the United Nations to oversee information and communication technologies, is currently expanding its Generation Connect initiative. So what Generation Connect is, it was founded in 2020, and it is to bring more young people, specifically between the ages of 18 to 24, into the fold of understanding worldwide regulation, understanding regional regulation, and being active participants in their country in developing information communication technology. So to that effect, what the ITU is now doing is seeking member states, of which the Bahamas is one, and which IRCA is the representative for the Bahamas on the ITU. It's seeking member states to nominate young people who are involved in ICTs to become Generation Connect Youth Ambassadors. And what that means is that if you are nominated by the Bahamas, and if you are then selected by the ITU, you will serve on a youth advisory board that helps to develop youth-related policies for ICT moving forward. IRCA is very interested in having a ICT Youth Ambassador program so that we can show the world that we are certainly punching above our weight in the ICT realm, despite what I heard one of your previous texters mention about the specialness of the Bahamas. We are inviting people to apply with us and be recommended by us to the ITU to be selected for this youth ambassador position. So the application process started on January 10th, and we had put out feelers and circulars through the University of the Bahamas and through other ICT-related programs. And we want to now make a public call on Guardian Radio to contact IRCA and apply to be a Generation Connect Youth Ambassador. It's a really good opportunity. There are possible travel opportunities involved. It's a voluntary position. It's not a paid position, but it's really a chance to be a part of something special. It's a chance to make connections that are going to further your career, further your education. And it is a chance also to possibly see some parts of the world that you would not have seen before and interact with people on a global scale to really help understand the interconnectedness of the world as ICTs are concerned right now.
So again, you have to be working in the field now or just have that interest? Which one, or is it any?
No, you have to, if anyone from any educational background is welcome, provided you can demonstrate that you have knowledge or specific interest in ICTs or that you have worked in ICTs. So your specific discipline that you might be studying or your specific profession that you might be working in, it is important in terms of the consideration, but it's not the final determining factor. You have to be between 18 and 24 years old. You have to display that you are interested in using ICTs and working with ICTs to further the development of the Bahamas and the region as well as the world. And if I could, I'll just explain to you a few of the more ICT-related fields that we look at, or that some people may be asking, well, what does this entail? So, for instance, I'm not sure how many 18 to 24-year-olds might be listening, but I'm sure your audience would know a lot of people possibly related in these fields who could reach out to IRCA so that we could speak with them. Sure. So if you are working in web development, front end, back end, if you're working in full stack development, sub stack development, if you're a user experience designer, if you're working in IT in any capacity, such as IT governance, IT strategy, if you're interested in the Internet of Things, which is how the Internet interacts with devices and things and people, then we are more than happy to speak with you. If you're working in radio, in terms of engineering, if you're working in broadcasting, in terms of engineering and production, that's something that we're interested in. Software engineering is something that we're very interested in. Data analysis, for instance, is another big field. Cybersecurity is something that is really expanding, and there's a great deal of opportunity right now and within the next few years. If you're interested in any of those things, if you're working in those disciplines, if you're studying those disciplines, you would be ideal. Coding, database management, information systems management, all these things are ICT-related fields that we are interested in. And of course, just basic computer science, engineering, AI. If you're interested in these fields, if you display that you've had some capacity to work in these fields, if you can display that you've somehow involved yourself in any of setting up, for instance, Wi-Fi in the park, those sorts of initiatives, then we are more than happy to talk to you, because we want to put forward the best and brightest from the Bahamas to represent us at the ITU possibly.
And so these young persons, they're going to be sitting on a board or a panel to discuss things like government policies or policy regulations concerning things like how these things are used in the country, in the region, I'm guessing?
Well, yes, but more so in terms of how to involve the youth in ICT and expanding the involvement in ICT and shaping the future of ICT. Because the 18 to 24-year-olds in the next 10 years, they're going to be the ones who are really shaping where we move forward in terms of ICT. And it's something that's changing at an exponential rate on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. All right. So you'd be essentially representing youth voices in discussions, events, activities related to digital transformation. We had a transformation forum last November, that spoke to where we were going as a nation, and we'll continue those fora this year. And we really want people involved in all aspects to understand how to make not only the Bahamas better, but the world better, but more specifically the Bahamas. And we believe this exposure to the ITU, we believe that developing an ICT youth ambassador program is really going to drive development forward, because we have a lot of development left to go. Yeah. So, for instance, if you look at the reports coming out of the ITU, they'll tell you the Bahamas has an incredibly high internet penetration rate. But when you break that down demographically, that would be more so New Providence, where there's this extreme amount of internet and broadband penetration. If we're looking at the Family Islands, a lot of those places are broadband deserts, and we're looking to change that. And we're not only looking to change that now, but we're looking at what the future looks like, and we want to get the youth involved in that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so how much of a commitment will these envoys have to dedicate? I mean, how often would they be utilized, and how many years are we talking about here?
It would be a 2-year commitment. So you cannot be over 26 by the time your commitment ends. So that's why you have to be between 18 and 24. So it's a 2-year commitment, and there's no fee that you have to pay. There's no commitment that you'd have to make other than your time and your attention to what is going on. So we would want you to work with IRCA to have robust participation in the Generation Connect program. The last time we had a youth initiative like this was when we took a group of ICT youth ambassadors to Kigali in Rwanda for a conference there that they had, and it was just a really transformative experience for those young people. But what we want to do now is we want to do more than just go to a conference. We want to really develop a cadre of young professionals who are going to move IT forward, ICTs forward in the Bahamas throughout the next foreseeable future.
Okay, so the deadline's coming up and there's an application process. Tell us about that, what folks who are interested need to do.
Sure. You can go to IRCA's Facebook page, and on the Facebook page, you'll see a flyer that explains how to apply. And it's a very simple process. You'll just explain your interest. You'll explain your involvement previously. You'll give them basic details about yourself. And then you'll submit your application. The issue is this. If you submit your application, but you're not actually nominated by the member state, which is the Bahamas, which is represented by IRCA, then they're not your application. That's why we're asking people to contact IRCA before they apply, so that IRCA can inform the ITU that we have asked these people to submit their applications. And the issue is that we can only select 4 people for the Bahamas in the region of the Americas, and we would like to have the best possible people put forward.
So IRCA is going to vet these, and you will send your 4 toward the ITU. Is that what you're saying?
They will apply, and we will explain to them who IRCA has nominated for application.
Okay.
So if you're a random stranger, you can go to the ITU's page now and apply, but they won't consider your application unless you've actually been put forward by IRCA.
Okay. And the deadline
That's why
again?
we're asking you to contact IRCA to let us know about your interest, or if you know someone who fits that criteria, 18 to 24, interested or involved in any of those fields, studying in those fields. They don't have to live in the Bahamas. They do have to be Bahamian.
Okay. And the deadline again is?
Mine is February 10th. So today's February 2nd. Like I said, it's a very simple process, but we do want you to reach out to IRCA to speak with us so that we can guide you through it and understand more clearly your involvement in ICT and interest in ICTs.
We've got somebody asking if there's monetary compensation for the envoys.
There is not.
Okay. All right.
But they get to travel.
You possibly get to travel, but more than that, you get to make connections with the International Telecommunications Union, which is the global body that regulates ICTs. This means that you would be able to establish relationships with people in Saudi Arabia, Germany, Rwanda, Britain, New Zealand, Canada, the United States, China, Singapore. Throughout the world, you will start to connect with other people who are interested in ICTs and build global relationships, and you will be representing the Bahamas on a global scale.
And this would look amazing on a resume, right? So this would be
It would
fantastic.
look-
Yeah. Wow.
And the exposure that you get, so it's like,
All right. So one more time, let people know how to sign up. What they need to do if they're interested in this.
I want you to contact IRCA first. So what you can do is you can go on our Facebook page and you'll see the flyer, and you can send a message. You can put a post under the flyer and say you're interested, and we can reach out to you. Or you can message us on Facebook. Or you can email us, info, at ircabahamas.bs. URCA Bahamas.bs. Info at ircabahamas.bs. Or you can call us. You can call me personally, 396-5242. If I don't answer, do leave a message, 396-5242. It's really a chance for people to represent their country on an international stage that will really raise their profile. And if you got the right stuff, the sky's the limit.
Excellent stuff. Very exciting. Wish I were in this age group, but hey, just missed it by a couple. Just by a couple.
Kids.
So this is why we're reaching out.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Walt McCartney, great hearing you on radio again. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Dwight. You guys take care. Take care, Stephen.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And again, it's the ITU Generation Connect Youth Envoys. And contact IRCA now. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up on Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
That don't make a joke. Yeah, I like the beach, but I don't go in water.
Earning 0%
zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suit situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama and the opposition's shadow minister of finance, Kwesi Thompson, is no excuse for the failure seen recently at the Department of Inland Revenue, which has been unable to process business license applications and renewals during the period when renewals would be at their highest, the end of the year and the beginning of the year. Thompson calling the delay unacceptable. You can read his comments in today's Guardian business section. Carnival Cruise Line giving some more insight into its Grand Bahama Development Celebration Key with a K in a post on its site this week, which revealed that the new private cruise destination will have 5 distinct areas called portals. One of these portals, which will be a retail area showcasing Bahamian art, food, and culture. According to Carnival, the spaces are designed to maximize family fun. The cruise line has said that the Grand Bahama location is already on the itineraries for more than 500 cruises on 18 ships from 9 U.S. home ports so far. Cryptocurrency firm Unicoin Inc. saying in a press statement that it has used its cryptocurrency coin to purchase a stake in New World Properties, SPV, which it says holds 7,721 acres of land between Long Island and Andros. The companies say the acquisition unlocks the potential for the development of hotel and condo resorts on the property. Unicoin is hailing the transaction as the largest ever cryptocurrency real estate deal, worth more than $500 million. You need to read this story in today's Guardian business section. Overseas, Tesla is recalling nearly all the vehicles it has sold in the U.S. because some warning lights on the instrument panel are too small. The recall of nearly 2.2 million vehicles announced today by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is a sign of stepped-up scrutiny on the electric vehicle maker. The agency also said it upgraded a 2023 investigation into Tesla steering problems to an engineering analysis, a step closer to a recall. Documents posted today by the agency say the warning light recall will be done with an online software update. It covers the 2012 through 2023 Model S, the 2016 through 2023 Model X, the 2017 through 2023 Model 3, the 2019 through 2024 Model Y, and the 2024 Cybertruck. The agency says the brake, park, and anti-lock brake warning lights have a smaller font size than required by U.S. federal safety standards that can make critical safety information hard to read, increasing the risk of a crash. Tesla has already started releasing the software update, and owners will be notified by letter starting March 30th. A number of those vehicles here in the Bahamas. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Thursday, your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 383 shares, closing unchanged at $4. Kalina Holdings moving 1,289, up 72 cents to 10.92. Finco moving 250, unchanged at 12.80. Consolidated Water down 3 cents to 6.36. Emira Incorporated up 13 cents to 8.78. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,902.44, up 0.82. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that is going to do it for us today. Stephen Hanna, thank you so much for being here this morning.
You know,
There's
so much more I wanted to say, but
sure.
I'm encouraged that my good friend, my good cousin, Aaron, will continue the conversation on culture in the next show coming up.
Are you going to stick around for that? Is that what you're saying?
I have a job, Dwight.
Oh, I don't.
I have a job building the country.
Literally. Have you started doing it yet?
Some people is haters, boy.
I can tell you, Grand Canyon 2.
Some people need to fall in a
horse. I saw a horse in Grand Canyon 2 on Prince Charles Drive. It's getting bigger.
Some people should fall in a hole.
It's still there.
But anyway.
It's still there. No matter how much. I've been talking about this since early December.
You could call the hotline.
It's still there. Anyway, folks, it's only 3 weeks to 242 Day.
Right.
Get your ideas. Have a plan.
And remember, the 23rd and the 24th.
Are you going to say this again?
You are not allowed to murder